up the blitz. Flag is thrown. There's your first down and a lot more for Demarius Thomas. Swing and a shot by Freeman. Deep into the night. Back-to-back homers for the Braves.
Blake Griffin will turn, shoot a three for the win. Foul, they go! Giannis, got the big win! They go!
There we go. Good evening. It's Friday night. You know what that means? It's time for the number one sports podcast in the world. It's time for Sports4U. Live on YouTube. I'm John. That's Mark. Look, sorry for the late people. I don't know if you had some family business to tend to, but we here now. Obviously, family and, as a person, it's no business to tend to, so we're all good here. But we're live on YouTube and X, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for Sports4U podcast.
Sam, what up?
What up, Sam? Like us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports4U Podcast. Of course, where y'all can follow. Y'all can follow us right here, still on the ticker at John Watson 0984 on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow Mark on X, Instagram at X and Mark1, Mark on Instagram.
Follow at your own discretion.
So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Shout out to the comment section. Obviously, always shout out to the VIPs watching. Thank y'all. Subscribe. Make sure if you're new to the program and if you want to subscribe, you can scan this QR code right there for Sports4U Podcast.
Only John still 75% off. We're going to Cyber Monday week sale. You heard?
That's really how we starting the show.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And furthermore,
yeah. So I see. We just starting. That's how we're starting. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Sam. Had a flat tire in the parking lot at work, but we made it home. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Sam. Hope. Be careful out there. It's holiday season, you know what I'm saying? A lot of traffic going on, so make sure your car is taken care of. But we got a lot to talk about here on this Friday night. We got some NFL to talk about, some NBA to talk about, college football championship weekend going on this
John,
weekend.
you got something to say about that?
Championship weekend?
Oh, college football playoffs?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
We're gonna talk. Let's talk.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Obviously, we got to talk about it because obviously could be some controversies heading around. Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Oh, talk with you. Yeah. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Take it. We want to see the show. Oh, okay. So, obviously, I deemed today's episode. If you see, y'all saw I don't know if y'all saw the thumbnail, but I called today Road Clip. And obviously, there's a lot to talk about in the sports world. Obviously, we got championship Saturday going on right now. We got the Big 12 championship, Big 10 championship, ACC championship, whatever that is. Then, of course, we got the SEC championship headlining all this, even though that's in the middle of the day. We got to talk about what's going on with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, Giannis. But let's start off with the story that really, to me, I'm dumbfounded even took place in the NBA. But you know what? Me and Mark, we're from LA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing dumbfounded that the Clippers don't do. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Grow up. So
What I miss?
I don't know, kid. People don't know how to be kids. People just being don't know how to be kids. Really? Grow up. Shout out. Big up, kids. Shout out to Taylor Rooks. There's Blake Griffin. Candace Parker, Giannis Haslam. It's good that we bring that up because I want to talk about this topic. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, speaking of kids. Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's what I'm getting to, Sam. Yeah, I know something that ain't being disrespectful right now. Yeah, that's very respectful. I respect it all. Chris Paul woke up Wednesday morning to hear the news from the Clippers that Chris Paul is getting sent home in the middle of a 3-game road trip. So Chris Paul tweets out at midnight, 3 a.m. Eastern, which is midnight on the West Coast. Just found out I'm being sent home. Deuces. I'm like, huh? Why is this even a story? So come to find out, the Clippers. Clearly, Chris Paul was getting on people's nerves, criticizing the players for not being, and the coaches for not holding people accountable. You know what that sounds like to me?
What's that?
It sounds like Chris Paul being Chris Paul.
Yep.
And this is where I don't understand with the Clippers. You are not you were not even this shouldn't surprise you. You know why? Y'all traded for Chris Paul back in 2011 when he should have been a Laker. And y'all ended up signing him, the birth from Lob City, him, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and have obviously one of the best runs in our franchise's history. All because of basketball reasons. Hashtag never forget. But
that run was better than Elton Brand, Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles.
Neither one got past the second round, so it wouldn't. I mean,
well, all right, go ahead.
So obviously we heard from Ty and Lue. Players said that they were kind of shocked by it. Chris Paul finally has spoken on the matter. In a statement, he told Yahoo's Chris Haynes. It was said tonight on NBA on Prime Video. Now I'm just staying ready. I'm hooping right now. I don't know what's next. I'm still scarred by it all, still processing everything, but I'm staying ready. Chris Paul just a few weeks ago announced that he was retiring from the NBA after 21 seasons in the NBA, being a 12-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA for like 9 times, former Rookie of the Year, All-Star Game MVP in the NBA. But let me be perfectly clear. Yes, that's background music, Candace. Your laptop's not tripping. Let me be perfectly clear. The Clippers knew who this dude was. Y'all were the ones who brought him in. Brought in Bradley Beal, brought in Brook Lopez, and said, peace out to Norman Powell. How's that looking right now? Yes. Bradley Beal's now out for the season after having back surgery. Pause. And Brook Lopez is not even in the rotation. Bradley, let me shut up. So let's just talk about it. So I want to play. Oh, yeah. Let's just go ahead and talk about what's going on with the Clippers. So a lot of people had an opinion about this crap. And it was getting on my damn nerves. Getting on my dang nerves. I'm going to start off with them dudes over at Gil's Arena. Give me a second. I need to load this clip. Pause. So, starting with one of Chris Paul's former teammates in Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin has said a lot. Okay. Basically, has something to say about this whole Chris Paul situation. So let's play it.
We've heard things in the past that Chris Paul has been difficult to play with. This coming out about him challenging people with coaching staff, players in front office. It's not liked, but he's done it before. Speaking from experience, being on the team with him.
He always do that sneaky.
So
when you don't mind being that guy, the guy that will tell it how it is.
You tell us on my TV.
A lot of people don't be liking to hear it, especially when you're already at 5 and 16 or some like that, right?
That they
want his back kicked in. Turn around to the front, I'll kick you in your chest.
Okay.
But it ain't about your feelings. Put your feelings in your mother pocket.
don't hold me accountable if you can't do it no more.
Yeah.
I was okay.
I think he abuses his power.
What I'm saying is, if you was who you were when you were younger, and you was the All-NBA player, and you was the top 5 or top 1 point guard or whatever, that was your resume.
Yeah.
You 40 years old, this your last year, shut the up.
Exactly.
Sit down there, enjoy.
Yeah,
Don't
bro,
come in here and tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear about nothing you had going on 57 years ago. Who you are as Chris Paul, we know what the demand. We don't need that right here. Right? That's not our personalities. Right. Don't talk to us like that. And we lose. Chill, relax, understand this your last year. Go out there, wave, do your thing, because that's what you deserve. Fighting with me every day? Nah.
Get the F out of here, man.
I don't like that. And this is I swear, y'all, this will be my only time sounding like my era is better than anybody else's era.
Mm-hmm.
In our era, they had OGs. You had the players from the 80s, even some of them from the 70s.
Right.
Linking around, showing you the ins and outs, showing you how to do things right, not just agree with everything you're doing because you're the star.
Uh-huh.
Dog, that's what leads to fucked up situations. Chris Paul might have been difficult to be around. He might have been. We heard what Cam Martin said, and Cam Martin played with him.
Right.
It might be true, but at the end of the day, some of these younger cats really need that kind of like enforcer on that team, man.
Mm-hmm.
You just being allowed to do whatever you want to do because you the star now. You make the most money. Dog, that's why the NBA is in the situation that it is in now when it comes to some of these players doing whatever they want to do. Dog, we need these veterans on the team, man. And I'm not just saying that because I'm older now. We need the veterans on the team. That kept everything in check, man.
Yes.
Like when you start seeing Charles Oakley was the vet for like Vince Carter.
Yes.
And shit like that, dog. And you see how Vince Carter turned out.
Yes.
We need that in the locker rooms now, man. I don't give a fuck about if they come out and average 1 point a game. It's not about that, dog. It's about you having an older player in the locker room to show you do the right things from the wrong things. That's not even on the court, but in life as becoming a man.
What we talking about?
You need that, man.
Yeah, what are we talking about? What Gil talking about? Don't tell me who you are. Come on, man. I bet if you would have had a vet, you wouldn't have been doing that dumb stuff in Washington. Come on, Kmart. You was with Jason Kidd. What are we talking about? Nick Young, don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. You was with Kobe. You know better than that. And you were with CP3 too. What are we talking about? Hey, baby. That really bothered me. I'm like, sound like them dudes just don't want to be accountable now. Like, we didn't have vets. I've been a Lakers fan all my life. Kobe had Byron Scott. Kobe and Shaq had Byron Scott in the first year of the Kobe Shaq era. Like Sam said, we had Jerome Kersey on the squad.
Dog, you know who Shaq OG was in Orlando? Tree Rollins.
Tree Rollins.
And a lot of people don't even know who he is.
I know who Tree Rollins is.
If you're a basketball fan, you know who Tree Rollins is.
Tree Rollins was the backup center of the Shaq in Orlando. If you don't know who Tree Rollins is, do your freaking homework.
Yeah, man. We had those OGs in the locker room and those veterans. Dog, we need those. I hate this new generation of I don't need the OGs. Yeah, you do, dog.
What are you talking about? Don't hold me accountable.
Yeah, you do, man. I don't care if I can't go out there and give you 15 and 11 like I used to. Dog, my experience in this league should be enough to help you understand how you get to where I'm at. You will only hope you can get to 20 years in the league. Most people don't get to that, dog.
Right. And like it's funny you bring that up about OGs. One of the OGs spoke about this. I just saw him on the television right now. Yeah. Sam said Lonzo Mourning had Robert Parrish when he was in Charlotte.
Dog, and do you know Lonzo Mourning was Dwayne Wade? Never mind.
He was D-Wade's OG. What are we talking about?
It's a generation. It passed down. And we can't do it now.
Bro, he had Sadraunis Ilgauskas. What are we talking about, dude?
Alonzo Mourning had Robert Parrish and Charlotte. Yep. Of course, no Tree Rollins. Jerome Kersey was on Lakers squad. Jerome Kersey was a veteran.
Jerome Kersey. We had vets on that squad. Jerome Kersey. We had Byron at his age. Look, man, I go back to the Showtime to the Lake Show Lakers. I know everyone. We're gonna talk about RP Elden Campbell. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But we had a Sedell 3 on that squad. We had an old school. We had an older Byron Scott on that squad.
Oh my God. Damn.
What are we talking about? We don't have no. What are we talking about? Even them Clipper squads. What the squad you just talking about? I don't know if you. I know you had the 06, the Elton Brand them. They had Sam Cassell.
They had Sam Cassell, and Sam Cassell was the OG for real.
What are we talking about, man?
And much respected in the NBA, Sam Cassell. We have to put that up there too.
So let me play what one of the OGs in Udonis Haslam said about this whole Chris Paul situation?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are two sides to every story. And UD, Chris Paul's leadership has become somewhat a topic of discussion within all of this. What questions do you have about if or how that played a role?
I mean, for me, as I've been a locker room guy who's had to reinvent himself over and over and over just to be a part of winning and help other guys that come in. The thing that disappoints me, and the same thing with Blake, it's two parts to communication. There's giving and there's receiving of the communication. We all understand that Chris is an acquired taste and he's not for everybody, but neither was I. But I was given the respect and the relationship with my coaches to open up the door, to have a conversation. So every message that I echoed was in line with the message of the coaching staff and the coach. When I saw that clip right there and I look on that bitch and I see T. Lue, I see Brian Shaw, I see guys who sat in the locker room. I see guys who were part of that brotherhood. So I understand Chris Paul might have ruffled some feathers, but we never turned our back on our brothers. When the door is open, especially when you're a coach that played, that door is open for your vets. That is where I am disappointed. Chris Paul could have said a lot of things that rub people the wrong way. He still should have been able to walk in that office and have an eye-to-eye communication, man-to-man conversation with T. Lue. Everything that I have ever done in this league and everything that I've ever accomplished is always come with eye-to-eye communication. It's never been behind the back. It's never head down being cynical. It's always eye-to-eye communication. And that's what I think the problem was. There was just no eye-to-eye communication with T. Lue and Chris Paul, because if you have Chris Paul on your side, even with the leadership skills that he has, if you can somewhat meet him where he's at, then you have an ally in your locker room.
Yep. I think UD is right, man.
Yeah, see, of course he's right.
I think UD is right. And I'm not sure if you've seen what
Oh, I know it. You want to go there now?
DeMarcus?
Well, no, I was gonna go to Blake Griffin, but I did see what DeMarcus.
I didn't see what Blake Griffin.
But I did see. But yes, I did see what DeMarcus Cousins said.
But DeMarcus Cousins, and that's coming from a person who him and Chris Paul
hated each other.
Still hate each other to this day.
Right.
But like he said, you have to show respect to the OGs of this game, man. I think if we really want to talk about it, dog, how they did Melo going out was crazy to me. How they doing Westbrook now? It's crazy to me.
Melo just said this the other day on the pod. He literally just said.
I haven't watched that at all.
He literally just had. I'll find the clip. I'll find the clip. Melo just literally brought this up on the pod right now.
It's crazy how they're doing some of the OGs, and these are some of the names that's carrying the NBA at one point in their career, dog.
Oh, Melo literally just had this discussion on this podcast, literally about how some of our legends are getting treated right now, and it's not what most current players are getting treated right now. And he just literally everything you just said. He literally said it. He literally said it on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the clip. So it was just.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, man. Like, dog, these are the people who. These are the people who like. Oh, right there.
There it is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play this clip right here. I'm gonna play this clip right. This is Carmelo Anthony. On the latest edition of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, talking about how our vets getting treated. Give me 1 second to load this up. We're gonna All right, let's go, Melo.
No matter what the Clippers do in the future, they can't take away from how much of a Hall of Fame you're trying to put a dent into this legacy. No matter what the Clippers do in the future, they can't take away from how much of a Hall of Fame.
But that's what they're gonna say.
Chris Paul is.
Well, we can't take away the fact that what you have done.
But if you're Chris Paul in this situation, I'm gonna give you 3 hypotheticals, right?
Man,
what do you do?
You know this shit pisses me off. This type of shit.
I know it though, but
we got to Russ. It's happening to Russ.
Yeah. It's
about to happen to DeMar DeRozan. It's about to happen to all of these niggas. AD is about to happen. The next trade that AD happen, it's going downhill from here. This is what's about to happen.
All right. So
it's unfortunate that trend. I understand it, but the way that our legends of the game get treated, is fucked up.
I feel like there's a lot of people.
You're trying to put a dent into this legacy.
And that's it right there. Let that sink in. And he literally just went through this. How do not even start on how Melo got treated. Basically, everyone wanted to blame what happened in Houston on him. But let's not forget
Houston before OKC?
It was after OKC.
Starting from OKC, how Melo got treated. Because I don't think he was treated the best in OKC.
All right. Okay, I'm with you there.
Dog, we looking at some of these people who are first ballot Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think in the locker room they have something to say? We'll hear that.
All right, so I got the clip here. This is what Mark was just talking about a minute ago. I'm gonna play this right now. This was DeMarcus Cousins on the latest episode of Running Back, talking about.
Is that when you bust on you trying to get back again?
Yo, you good?
Oh, my bad.
Talking about the Chris Paul situation.
It's a lot. Draymond, they don't love you like that, and this is this is so apparent in this situation. I can't sit here and say I agree with it. I think this is complete BS. He is one of the greats in this game. He's probably one of the last great pick and roll PGs to ever play this game. He put the Clippers on the map, him and Blake Griffin. I just feel more respect is deserved in this situation. And the real issue I have with all of this is the same reason you love them is now the reason you hate them. Throughout his entire career, this is what Chris Paul was highlighted for, being that voice, holding people accountable, being a leader in the locker room for the young guys, for the old guys. He held everybody accountable, and that was something that they loved about him. Now you move into this situation, and he's at a different point in his career, and now it's being turned into a negative. And that's the part I hate about the NBA, and I hate how they do veterans towards the end of their careers. It's like your experience, your knowledge, your advice no longer means anything because, you know, you're on your way out of the league when it shouldn't be that way at all. It should actually be the complete opposite. And I know I've been critical of CP in the past, and, you know, I still hate the shit out the guy, but at the end of the day, he deserves his flowers, and you can never knock him for being one of the greats in this game. First ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
And you know what's funny about that? Is on that same exact post, Chris Paul responded and said,
"Yeah,
the feeling is mutual."
He did,
but respect though,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like even if you don't like Chris Paul, like dog, you have to understand that that's the OG. And I seen that Sam said T Mac had
Sean Kemp in Orlando.
Yeah, but let's go back to
when it was in Toronto. They had Dale Curry.
They had Muggsy Bogues. They had Charles Oakley.
You had Dale Curry. You had Kevin Willis.
You have OGs there. And it's not for them because they can come in and still give you 15 to 20. No, it's because they can help lead the younger guys who's going to be the stars of the future to, like I said, show what's going to be right and what's wrong. How you be an NBA pro, how you be a pro. No, it's so easy to go from you a pro to you not even mentioned no more in the NBA no more.
Talk about it.
And that can happen within 2 to 3 years. You need veterans to have that, dog.
Easily. All right. I teased this also. Blake Griffin, and we all know how the checkered history is with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul.
Yep.
The whole how the Lob City era ended.
Yep.
Behind the issues with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul.
This is my first time hearing this. I want to hear what he got to
say. So this was, I don't know if this was before UD spoke, but this was during the same conversation on NBA on Prime pregame. It was Blake Griffin, who was teammates with Chris Paul with the Clippers, talking about how disappointed he was in his former organization.
Blake, I'm looking at you. You were teammates with Chris Paul for 6 seasons in LA. From your knowledge of the situation, what do you make of this move?
I'm just disappointed, to be honest. I can't think of really another word. Obviously shocked at first, but disappointed. I'm disappointed for Chris Paul, but I'm disappointed in the Clippers organization. I mean, Chris Paul was a guy who came to the Clippers when DeAndre and I were first and second year guys. He brought a winning culture. He taught us how to operate in the NBA and how to take every game seriously, how to take your body seriously, that there was no detail that was too small. And we weren't perfect, right? Like we didn't ultimately win a championship. I know that. I'm reminded of it every day. And CP and I didn't always see eye to eye, but I'm disappointed because we got to a franchise that was synonymous with jokes, right? You heard the Clippers and you heard cursed. And again, we didn't win a championship, but we did create a culture, an environment that people respected. You know, every year you knew the Clippers were going to be competitive. And Chris Paul for 20 years has been the same player. He's been about winning. And you know, re-signing with the Clippers, this was supposed to be his moment. His you know, I'm coming back to LA. You know, I'm giving it one last go. And for him to not get to walk out on his own terms from the franchise that he chose to go to end his career is extremely disappointing. But I think the biggest reason I'm disappointed is what Chris said. No communication with Ty Lue. And even more than that, you know, no communication. I talked to CP Wednesday. I talked to him yesterday. I talked to him today. No communication with Steve Ballmer. And that's like the disappointing thing for me.
You gotta be kidding me, man. Let me be clear. That's my first time hearing that too.
I've never heard that. And that's
so let me get this straight. No communication with Ty Lue. No communication with Steve Ballmer. But Lawrence Frank is going to fall on the sword for this. Let me be clear. Lawrence Frank, he's guilty in his own right for how he handled the situation. Because number one, you shouldn't be the one. You shouldn't be calling this dude. If you really want him to go home, y'all could have easily just continue not playing them games. And then when the road trip is over, you call a meeting, say, look, CP, it's not working out. We know you're going to retire a Clipper. Go home. And then when his time is right, we'll send you somewhere so you can try to at least enjoy the final year. This is crap, man.
I'm going to be honest with you, dog. Knowing that this is CP last year, I don't give a fuck how he comes off in the locker room. Dog, you give him his last hurrah.
Right.
Especially like what Blake Griffin just said, because I question which run was better with Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles, and Elton Brand, or this one. I'm honestly say this one because that changed the culture of the Clippers.
Yes.
Even after Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson and all them, Clippers were still a joke. When Blake Griffin said when they got there and they started on a trajectory, Clippers wasn't a joke no more. You had to take them seriously. And it's been that way since then.
You know how I know they had to take them serious? Because the Lakers because they started for a minute giving the Lakers a run for their money on
it's not miscommunication, Sam.
No, they just didn't talk to him.
Yeah, that's
they did that
communication.
That was intentional what they did. That wasn't no miscommunication. No, that was intentional. And I'm disappointed in T. Lue because you're a former player.
No, you're a former point guard.
Right.
I'm disappointed in point guards treating point guards this way.
What are you doing?
We don't do that. No, you don't do that.
And you have vets.
Yeah.
And you've been that vet.
Yeah, man.
That dumbfounds me.
Yeah, and then they won't even release him, so at least he can.
And they're not gonna release. They can't release him to January 19th because even releasing him, they're not gonna be able to benefit from it.
Fuck them benefiting from it, dog. You don't want him there.
I know,
dog. He don't want to leave. Let him sign with the Clippers. With the Lakers. I don't give a fuck if he get 2 minutes a game.
Right.
Dog, he can sign the veterans minimum, the lowest contract you can sign, and let him have his swan song with a team he wants to be with. He said he wants to be in LA. His wife, his 2 sons is playing basketball here in LA. Dog, let him go somewhere where he can be accepted and appreciated, man.
This is really sad. But this is, like I said, it's the most Clippery thing ever. Only the Clippers would be in the headlines for releasing a 40-year-old point guard.
And I'm questioning Tyronn Lue now. Because what you done without LeBron? Never mind.
All right. But speaking of what players, teams have done without players, what up, John? By the way, happy birthday to my brother Daryl, her husband. Celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday to your husband,
Shout out to Daryl. I'll see you Sunday. See you Sunday. But another player could be on the move as well. and this news has been brewing. This man, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So Shams Charania reported on Wednesday that Giannis met and his agent met with the Bucks to discuss his future. He's uncertain about if he wants to stay in Milwaukee. Brian Windhorst broke the story. I heard it on Sedano and Cap. He went on ESPN radio in Cleveland to talk about this. And that was that over the summer, Giannis Antetokounmpo's representation went to the Bucks about possibly seeing about trading him to the New York Knicks. And it didn't happen. Wednesday, they have a game, and what happens? Giannis suffers a calf strain. Now, thank God they did clear. There was no Achilles injury. So he's going to be out the next 2 to 4 weeks with a right calf strain. But let me be perfectly clear. I'm just going to call it up. I'm just going to have a bold prediction. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo has played his last game as a Milwaukee Buck. At least, or this will be his last season. If they don't trade him when he gets back, they don't trade him by the deadline. He will not be back next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to know that I know they said he didn't have an Achilles injury. He had a calf injury.
Mm-hmm.
That's the injury that happens before the Achilles happens.
That's right.
So everybody just Giannis not playing.
No time.
They said 2 to 4 weeks. It's gonna be way past 2 to 4 weeks.
His team is going to control this as long as they can. He won't be back no time soon.
And that's why I agree with John. This might be you might have seen this last game in the Milwaukee uniform.
Yeah, they do not trade him by February 8th, which is I believe is the NBA trade deadline. He will not be back. He's in the first year of a 3-year extension. In the second year, and next year he's guaranteed, I think 40, 50 something next year. And in the third year is a player option, which he expects to be a free agent in this huge class that has him, the Joker, Trae Young, guys like that will all be available for free agency in the summer of 2027. But I'm going to call my shot right now. I think Giannis is going to find his way to get to New York City. I don't know how they do it.
I don't.
I will love him with the Lakers.
I think that's what
but if he's already made it clear to New York, I think New York is I'm gonna go with New York until I know
it's another player I think going to end up with New York, and we've been saying it since he got drafted.
Oh, one that came to stay in shape, right?
Until he gets to where you want to be at.
I can see that. And by the way, his value is real low right now.
Perfect for the Knicks because they can keep everybody they need.
Zion. That's the person who Mark is referring to. Everybody that Zion Williamson will be New York Knicks. Unfortunately, we suffered a sad loss in the NBA family the other night. This one it's a little close to home, especially for me, Laker fan. Sam hinted on it earlier. Eldon Campbell, Inglewood legend, Morningside High, all-time leading scorer at the University of Clemson. Passed away at the age of 57 from what reports are saying was an accidental drowning while he was fishing out in Florida. He had a medical episode and he was found, and in the details, and he was found washed off on the shore.
Did you hear the 911 call?
I couldn't, but I saw it. I just couldn't. But my prayers to his family. But I can see this one hits close to home because Eldon Campbell he's one of us because he was an LA boy. Inglewood legend, Morningside, him and Byron Scott. Accidental drowning, Lejon. And then he gets drafted by the Lakers in 1990. Was on the last Lakers team with Magic that went to the finals against the Bulls, and was part of those Lake Show teams we had with Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel.
He was a hooper, man.
He was Big Easy, man. He was a hooper, dude. I know a lot of people thought maybe he would have been snap. That's happened again. Yeah, I'll be watching that again. Clips after the post game tonight on Amazon Prime. But this is just sad, man. If you never saw Eldon Campbell play, he was a hooper. Obviously with the Lakers, he ended up being traded to Charlotte in the Glenn Rice trade that obviously helped the Lakers go on to win a championship in the first year of the Shaq and Kobe era. Obviously, he won a championship in 04 with the Detroit Pistons, ironically defeating the Lakers. And just a sad story. And again, was one of those dudes, man. So at this time, we're going to remember the life and career of Eldon Campbell.
Clemson's all-time leading scorer, Eldon Campbell, was the 1990 first-round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Blocked by Eldon Campbell. Campbell shoots for the win. He made it.
Known as Easy E, Campbell's quiet demeanor and hard-nosed game endeared him to teammates and coaches throughout his career.
Eldon is what I call my quiet assassin. It's kind of low-key, but the guy is very skilled.
Over the course of his 15-year NBA career, Campbell played for 6 different teams, including appearances in the finals with the Lakers in 1991 and as a member of the 2004 Detroit Pistons championship team.
He came up so big in the NBA Finals, the Big Easy, Eldon Campbell.
So R&B Eldon Campbell. Yeah, I saw the post on Cedric Sabalos' Instagram, and I was just like, nah, man, not Eldon. So R.I.P. to Big Easy.
Yeah, like John said, man, rest in peace to Eldon Campbell, man.
Yes.
LA native, Inglewood, Inglewood Heart.
Yep.
Again, man, thank you for your contributions to everything you did for basketball.
Yes, man. You know, you beat the Lakers in the finals. You're always gonna be Lake Show. You're always gonna be Lake Show now. You know, you beat the Lakers in the finals of 04, but you Lake Show. Them Laker teams with when you, Eddie, Van Etnick the Quick. Before we got to Shaq and Kobe, if you're a Laker fan, Sam knows, Mark knows being here. Before we got to
Kobe and
Shaq, there was the Lake Show Lakers, and we didn't win no championships.
That was the fun Lakers.
Boy, we had some fun times in the forum.
The Bottles, Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Sabalos, Eddie Jones, Van Exel, Eldon Campbell, Vlade was there. Doug Christie. We had Tadell 3 was there.
2 dribbles to the left. He wasn't missing.
Yeah. We had them, man. Yeah, I did too. Those were my guys. Before they was the prelude to what we would end up being Shaq and Kobe and Powell, now Bron and AD, and now Bron and Luka. But before all that, between that gap from Showtime to Shaq and Kobe, we will always have those Lake Show Lakers. And obviously, RIP to Eldon Campbell. All right, Mark, let's get to some football. We can go college, we can go pro. Which one you want to do?
Let's go college.
All right, man. Let's get to it. It's
nachos and fries.
Let's get to it, man. We got tomorrow. It's college football. It's championship weekend here in college football, and obviously today we've had college football playoffs going on. By the way, this game is a wrap now. The OKC Thunder are up 28 on the Dallas Mavericks.
And let's just say OKC the best team in basketball.
Very so. If you don't know now, you don't know you haven't watched hoops, but still not a placing to in the college football playoff. Okay. Okay. The college football playoffs. Like tonight, we had the Sun Belt Championship. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, no.
Yo, Sun Belt Championship. James Madison. By the way, their new coach, their current coach, Bob Chesney, will now be the new coach at UCLA, and they found his replacement, Billy Napier. The former coach of Florida will be the new coach at James Madison.
Oh, so he'll be there for a couple of years and get a new coaching job. Got it.
Pretty much. Right now, we got the American Championship on. In the fourth quarter, Tulane is up 31-21 on North Texas. This is interesting because one of these group of 5 schools is going to end up in the college football playoff. And we got these 4 championship games tomorrow. Starting here this is not game right here at the bottom, the Big 12 championship will kick the day off with BYU at Texas Tech from Arlington, Texas. Now, everyone believes, like Noodle's saying, Adam is saying that Texas Tech is going to get BYU up out of here. Let me be clear. It sounds, I hear you, Adam, but that is not a lock. That is not a lock. And that game could cause a lot of chaos. Hey, yo, it can cause a lot of chaos. Somebody needs
some other chaos going on right now.
Yeah. Somebody wants to go to the massage parlor and get a facial. So anyway,
shout out to the face paint tees.
Yeah. And those who like taking it on that was a throwback. But this game right here, yes, I saw. This game right here could dictate the whole day.
Dictate?
Well, they probably, I don't know if they're doing that in BYU because they pose that they go by the honor code, but
they honor dick.
They honor something, but this could cause a lot. I repeat, I see. Oh wow, a lot of chaos this weekend. You know why? Look at this bracket, and then Mark, I want you to look at these rankings. So right now, we see 1 through 9. Ohio State, Indiana, your Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Nessa's A&M, Aggies, Oklahoma, Alabama. Here's where it gets interesting, and that's between 10 through 12. Fats Notre Dame Fighting Irish. BYU, who's playing in the Big 12 championship tomorrow afternoon, depending what time you're watching it. And then JoJo's Miami Hurricanes. Here's where it gets interesting. As Mark's going to take a restroom break right quick. BYU could really screw up the Big 12, the playoff, because if they can win the Big 12 championship, I do believe Texas Tech is not going to bounce, is not going to be eliminated from the top 12. I don't. But BYU wins, and they conference championships automatically get in the playoff. That could really cause either Notre Dame or Miami to be eliminated from the bracket. Here's how the bracket looks right now, and obviously this is all pending what's going to happen within the next 48 hours. The playoff announcement is Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the West Coast, following NFL countdown. So clearly right now, Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas, they have buys. And right now you see the gold by the next year is because they are leading their conference. Obviously, Ohio State and Indiana are going to play. We're going to talk about their game in a minute. They're playing in the Big 10 championship. Texas playing in the Big 12 championship. Georgia is playing Alabama in the SEC championship. Then you go over to the teams that got at-large bids. Ohio State, Oregon. They would face probably whoever's in the group of 5 between either Tulane, right now it looks like Tulane, or James Madison. Oklahoma, Alabama. Ole Miss is probably going to get whoever wins the ACC, depending on what happens. Because I think that could cause some chaos. And then we run it back with Nessa's A&M Aggies and Notre Dame.
They played earlier this year, right?
That was the second game of the season, and Texas A&M won.
1-1.
And obviously, Miami beat Notre Dame by 3. So here's how it looks right now. if you're going based off this, BYU right now and Alabama and Miami would be the first two teams eliminated from the bracket.
Bama.
Come on, Leon, really?
Okay.
Right. You move to Louisiana, they're gonna revoke. They're gonna kick you out of Louisiana next time you do that. Yeah, Ohio State and Indiana are 1 or 2, and they're playing in the Big Ten championship tomorrow. So obviously, this game I think is a key. Let's go over to the second game of the day. That's Mark's Georgia Bulldogs versus Alabama, and that's key because I think no matter what your guys are in, you're good. The question is this. Let's just say, and I don't think it's going to happen, I do think y'all are going to win the SEC championship. But let's say Bama does pull off a rabbit in the hat because they did beat y'all earlier in the season and win. They're going to get in. That causes chaos, the chaos that's going to lead to this game. I think is irrelevant. These two teams are getting in regardless.
No matter what Ohio State and Indiana.
I mean, they're in regardless. This game is this is a non-factor game. It just all depends who wins the Big Ten. That's all that matters. They're both getting in. This is where the chaos will really elevate. Virginia versus Duke. Virginia right now is in, but here's the thing. You got 3 teams in the ACC that's 10-2. Them, SMU, Miami. But Virginia's going in. I don't know how they got in. I don't know how the ACC is running their conference. I don't care. Duke has 5 wins. Losses, I should say. And they're not ranked.
With 5 losses.
They're not ranked.
They shouldn't be lost. They shouldn't be ranked.
Exactly. Let's just say for some random theory,
Duke beat Virginia.
They are not getting in the playoff.
Well, are they?
If they are not ranked, they will not get in the playoff.
Even if they win the ACC?
Yes.
That's crazy.
If they are not one of the top 25 teams on Sunday morning, they will not get in the college football playoff.
So one of the Power 5 conference winners will not be in the playoff.
If Duke wins.
That's crazy.
That is where chaos is going to start, and that's where the debate is going now. How do you, and we talked about this on Tuesday, how do we look at the Notre Dame Miami situation?
You know, at one point I was on Notre Dame side because I know Miami beat them earlier, but those two teams are not the same two teams that where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Notre Dame, Miami is not as good as what we thought they was at the beginning of the year, and Notre Dame is a lot better than what they look versus Miami. And I think that's what the voters will go off of. But I'm kind of switching to Miami because now I'm starting to see. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I don't follow them. But, dog, they played 2 ranked teams, lost to both of them. Played a mediocre schedule for the rest of the schedule. The only good win that they had, decent win that they had, was against USC.
I looked at, they compared yesterday on Get Up. Okay. They compared the resumes between Miami and Notre Dame yesterday. And you're right. They're 1-2, really 2. They beat Pittsburgh, but Miami blew out Pittsburgh too. So, but like you said, the only real win they have against a top 25 team was USC. And they lost to A&M and they lost to the U the first 2 games of the season. I think if come Sunday morning, I think this is going to be a lot of chaos. I go back to when we had a huge discussion what happened with Florida State a few years ago. Obviously, they took Jordan Travis gets hurt, and they already went. They ran the table. They won the ACC championship.
They were undefeated.
And then they got punished because their quarterback broke his leg the last game of the season. And they was like, well, they're not going to be that good without him. You can't do that. And Miami's going to go off the strength of why does head-to-head matter? Relax. I mean, that it does matter, But does it matter on the football field? I should say. Head-to-head does matter.
Getting hit on football for the top tier.
What about the bleachers? What about bleachers? But yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen Sunday. As far as championship Saturday, I think Texas Tech wins. I think y'all win. Ohio State wins. I think Virginia wins. But if Duke wins, all hell's going to break loose Sunday morning on ESPN. So set your DVRs, your reminders, your notifications on your phone, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, to ESPN for the college football selection, the college football playoff selection show. We will find out who's going to be playing in the college football playoff. Remember, the top 4 seeds all get automatic byes into the quarterfinals. 5 through 8 will host home playoff games. You're going to have 4 conference champions. You're going to have the Power 5s represented, 4 conference champions, because obviously the Pac-12 is just irrelevant, unfortunately. And then the group of 5.
Should Ole Miss be in?
Yes.
But without their coach and some of the coaching staff, they're not as good. It's the same argument they have with Florida State.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. And that's really what's going to happen. They're going to feel so sorry because everyone hates Lane Kiffin. But, yeah, that's what it's going to look like come Sunday morning. And we will see. So, JoJo, calm your nerves. Just turn to ESPN Sunday afternoon. And then if you don't see Miami in the playoff, then go on to the College Football Selection Committee.
Because of Miami.
Yes.
If Miami go get in.
Yes.
I don't think she worried about Miami getting in. I think she's trying to do that.
They're trying to get in something else. But, yeah, let's go to the NFL. Speaking of Miami. Thursday night football last night. But, yeah, that's how it's going to look. Come Sunday, we'll see. But Thursday night football. Boy. The Dallas Cowboys. Thought we was giving them a break. Thought giving them the benefit of the doubt. And clearly, they failed again.
They needed to win this game. Do you know if they won this game, they still have a chance to win the division?
Yes. That's a bad part. This is a must-win game, really much for both teams. And the Lions showed up. The Lions get the win over the Cowboys, 44-30. That defense that everyone's been talking about gave up 44 points. Jahmyr Gibbs carved them apart. Obviously, the offense suffered. They lost CeeDee Lamb with a concussion. That's pretty much it, Candace. Dallas is going Dallas. That's pretty much what they did. And I want to ask you this, because obviously this is your boy, Georgia Bulldog. I don't know if you saw the post-game comments from Richard Sherman about George Pickens.
I didn't see it.
But I'm a paraphrase because I heard a lot of it also. I heard Harry Douglas talking about it. There was a lot of people, I don't know how much the game you saw, but there was a lot of people based off the highlights saying that George Pickens was not giving full maximum effort last night on some of his routes. Specifically, after CeeDee Lamb left the game with a concussion. Would you, in Buffalo, where you need receivers?
Yes.
Be hesitant.
Absolutely. Yes.
Give George Pickens $30 to $40 million to be
$40 million
to be a wide receiver 1 for your Bills.
No.
That is the question.
But I sure would have traded Pittsburgh to go get him.
And there was talks that maybe the Niners called. They was offering Brighton. I know who didn't either.
It's the best team in the AFC, so it don't really matter.
Oh, thanks. We'll see how that goes. We better not lose on Sunday. But yeah,
y'all play?
We play the Raiders.
Y'all play Chiefs next Sunday.
We'll play the Chiefs on Christmas. Next Sunday we play the Packers.
Okay.
And that final 4 games is going to be a tough stretch for the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't know who y'all lose. I just want to try to beat the Chiefs.
We got the Chiefs Christmas night. Same night at the same time the Lakers are playing the Rockets. So around the time I'm looking to see my Broncos playoff hopes be solidified. Where are you throwing the ball, fam? We might see the last Christmas Day game between LeBron James and Kevin Durant. I don't know. Look, George Pickens has had a great year. He's actually got more yards combined than all the wide receivers in Pittsburgh right now. But is he worth giving that much money to because you don't know what you're going to get from him?
He's not, because it's too inconsistent. And there's not one of the receivers where even if you have a game where his stats don't show up, where you still feel the effect of him. Like, I think, look at this stupid nigga. I think that the receivers like Amon-Ra St. Brown, even when he have a bad game, you see him. You see him in the running game. You see him occupying double teams. You know what I'm saying? You get all that. I don't know if George Pickens do that. That's what I said. I don't know if he's worth the $30 to $40 million. I don't know if he should get. I don't know if a team should pay him that.
I don't know if I'm paying him that either. He's a good. Where were you throwing the ball?
To number 20.
Clearly, he saw green. He saw the green in his helmet, not the green, and then it saw that there was no green on his jersey. Man, well, it's green. That's green on the sleeve, but still. But I don't know what. I really don't know what to say because the Dallas offense showed up even after CD got hurt. They still took care of business.
Yeah.
But that defense, and I really think, and I'm not trying to hate on the Cowboys. You know how much I love seeing how Cowboys fans misery. Sorry, Noodle. Sorry, Mo. Smitty says give him 3 years, $60 million. How much guaranteed? You gotta do a little more than that. He's not his agent. His agent, David Mulligetta, who's the same agent of Deshaun Watson and Micah Parsons, is going to make sure that George Pickens gets at least $100 million.
Yeah. All right. No hate. I hate nobody.
What you thinking?
I don't think he's worth that. I don't think he's worth $100 million. I don't know if he's receiver one.
And that's what Richard Sherman was bringing up last night.
I don't know if he's receiver one. I think he has receiver one's talent. I don't know if the mentality is there.
And I think that's what everyone was saying. Like Harry Duck was saying, I was in a wide receiver room with Roddy White, with Julio Jones. When they got out their breaks, they got out their breaks. There were some games where I was looking at some of those routes that George Pickens ran last night.
Some of those too.
He did not get out. He didn't get out his break
as clean as he should have.
No, if you and the first play of the second half. Now, granted, it was a good play defensively, but if he gets out of his break, at least that I don't know if that pick totally happens, but we don't know. Smitty says at least $30 million guaranteed. You got to get a little higher than that. But you got to figure out if you're giving him 3 or 60.
Well, it all depends.
Yeah, you're right, because 33 no state taxes in Texas. But here's the question: does Jerry want to resign him?
Now, this is the thing. Does he have the Westbrook stigma on him, where you feel you won't win if he's on your team?
It seems like it, because
if that's what the stigma is around him, then he's not worth that $30 million guaranteed. To me, and I like George, I like Pickens here, Bulldog through and through. But I just don't think he do enough to demand that number one type receiver. Like I said, even if it's a game where you're getting double teamed and your stats don't show up in the game, number one still make their presence felt. And I just don't think that George Pickens does that.
I don't think he does either. It's going to be an interesting debate when the offseason gets here. Does Jerry pay him or not? But we'll keep an eye on that situation as well. let's go into some more NFL talk. I don't have the graphics, but the Pro Football, we're getting, we now talked the other day about who's going the semifinals for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, Thursday they announced the finalists for the special categories. You got the coach category. You good?
That was Nick.
You good? Yeah. Not that special.
Oh.
The coaching category, contributor, and then the senior finalists. So I'm gonna give you these 5 names. Now 3 of these names are gonna get selected with at least 80%. No more than 3 of these can get selected at 80% vote. So here's the coach, and I think it's a no-brainer. I hope he decides to leave college soon, and maybe leave his 20-year-old girlfriend. Bill Belichick. Does Bill Belichick get in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot?
Yep.
Well, let's keep this a Patriot thing. The contributor. The guy who won those 7 Super Bowls for it. Or 6 Super Bowls for it.
Yep.
Robert Kraft. Now this is the fun part, Mark. Because this is where me and you, this is our area.
Mm-hmm.
The players. Now, one player I think for sure I would vote for. But I think this is going to be an interesting debate with these 3. But I think one player should be a lock. The first person, Ken Anderson. Long-time quarterback for the Bengals, former MVP. He's a senior finalist.
Okay.
Number 2, L.C. Greenwood. Steel curtain, linebacker for the Steelers. And the final one, and I hope Will and Josh are watching.
Roger Craig. You motherfucking right, Roger Craig need to be in there. Fuck it.
There it is.
Roger Craig need to be in there.
Roger Craig.
The first running back with 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in the same year.
This is not
Roger Craig need to be in there. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Roger Craig is the final player amongst the senior finalists. You have Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig.
Roger Craig was Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk. You heard? For y'all who don't know, he was LT before LT. Y'all need to do some research. Roger Craig should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Roger Craig was key. Is just as important on those 49ers teams as Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. Ask him.
And what I like about Roger Craig, he's so humble to today's game and give respect and credit to today's players.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he needed to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
So Roger Craig.
Shout out to Will. He said Roger Craig. I was with Will. I was talking to Will yesterday. He said if Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame, he's going to get that jersey and put it in the man cave.
Shout out. But so those are your 5 people who are up for the Pro Football Hall of Fame as far as the categories. Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig. And I think clearly Bill Belichick's getting in. I think Robert Kraft's getting in. Now the question is, which one of those players get in? I think Roger Craig should be, if I had to rank him, Roger Craig goes first. L.C. Greenwood gets in based off, will probably get a lot of favor just off the favor of the steel curtain. Ken Anderson was a good quarterback, former MVP. But Roger Craig, to me, as Mark said it, the first running back would have 1,000 yards receiving and rushing in the same season. That is what I feel is. That's what I feel should be in, and we'll talk about that. But I want to also talk about coaches who obviously could be in the Hall of Fame. I want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's had a real tough time lately with the Steelers. He hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years, but every year they've been undefeated. I mean, he has got to win a record, I should say. Excuse me. And there's been a lot of talk. Is it time for Mike Tomlin to part ways with the Steelers? Well, 2 of his former players might think so. I'm gonna play first off. I'm gonna play from the quarterback that helped him win the Super Bowl.
Being Roethlisberger?
Yes. We're not gonna play the whole clip, but here's Ben Roethlisberger on his time that the Steelers and Mike Tomlin part ways.
I know it's being talked about around here a lot. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's a clean house time. Maybe it is. Maybe it's time. And I like Coach Tomlin. I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin. But maybe it's best for him too.
Sure.
Maybe a fresh start for him is what's best. Whether that's in the pros, whether maybe go be Penn State's head coach. You know what he would do in Penn State? He'd probably go win national championships.
Because
he's a great recruiter.
That's what was I having a conversation? We probably had this.
Probably.
Or I was having this conversation the other day. I'm like, Coach T in college would be one of the greatest college football coaches of all. You tell me now. I don't know what the climate of college football is now with the NIL, the portal, and all that. I mean, it's like the Wild West down there,
for sure.
Which is insane that it's not been regulated to some degree. But I'm sure that's probably by design. But not saying he should leave his job. Again, equally, I'm a fan of who Tomlin is. But I understand and respect the sentiment of the frustration of the fan base saying, man, something's got to go. And it's like, you go to the top of the pyramid, bro. And you have to, if all this is a mess, like you are responsible, you are accountable.
All right, that was, I think I played the whole 3-minute clip. But one of his former players said something I thought was very authentic and I thought very factual. And if anybody's criticizing him for it, get a life. And you don't value yours. James Harrison has a podcast with his former teammate and former Steeler and Brown quarterback Joe Hayden. Here's what Debo said about his former coach.
And as much as I hate to say this, I have never been a person that thought Coach Tomlin was a great coach. I thought he was a good coach. And I'll be honest, part of that is because when I was slated to be the starter, when Joey left, he drafted 1 and 2 outside linebackers. And I was actually behind one of them for a minute. Okay? But right now, we have coaches on this staff, and that's it. And when I say coaches, I'm saying this as a coach is someone that tells you what to do. And it doesn't matter if what they're telling you to do is right or wrong. That's what a coach does. And we have coaches. Okay? A good coach gets you to play to your potential. And right now, the players we have on that team, I have seen play. I know they can do it. I have seen them do it, and they're not playing up to their potential. And a great coach gets you to play beyond your potential. And I know the Steelers historically don't move on from coaches. But I think it's time that history be made, because right now, the only history we're making is being the worst Pittsburgh Steelers team statistically almost in the history of the organization. And when I think about this, bruh, and you go back and you look at the Chief, Art Rooney Sr., where he took this franchise from in 2, and then Dan Rooney continued the legacy, and to see it where it is now is incomprehensible, bro. The legacy of the 1970s steel curtain defenses to the Blitzburg defense of the 2010, and to see what it looks like now is unbelievable. I'm going to be a Steeler fan for life, bro. But I like to be a Steeler fan that believes we can win a game and doesn't just hope we can win a game. And right now, I done lost hope. Damn. Debo. And it's
Woo! That was rough. James Harrison was very, very candid. Very candid. And he might be right. look, Mike. I don't think no one has ever mistaken Mike Tomlin to be a great coach, but he is a Hall of Fame coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's coached 10 out. He's been 2 Super Bowls. But there has to be a change in the Steel City. Let me be clear. Mike Tomlin leaves the Steelers, he's out of a job for 5 seconds. Whether it's TV, whether it's being an analyst, whether it's being a coach, he will not lack for employment. You can believe that. Mike Tomlin will never lack for employment because he is that good of a coach. He's that good of a personality and that good of a coach. But what James Harrison was saying was the Steelers have been content with being mediocre. And that's not the Steeler way. This is a dude who was a Super Bowl champion. Look, he was an undrafted free agent, former defensive player of the year, had one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, a 99-yard pick six. But let me be perfectly clear.
Oh, man.
He might be right on this one. Mark, what do you think of everything James Harrison said?
It's tough because I'm part of the spoiled fan base, but not so much. I'm just spoiled in the small span right now, last 5-6 years. But when teams, and this goes across any sport, when teams are winning championships, the fan base become really spoiled. And so when the teams is doing good, a lot of times the fan base isn't happy with that. And they want to do something else. I just want to know, if you fire Mike Tomlin, what are you going to do if the next coach that comes in and y'all don't make the playoffs for 2 or 3 years? Now what? Y'all going to try to fire him? Pittsburgh's only had 3 coaches in the entire franchise. Right? So, only thing I'm saying is if y'all fire Mike Tomlin, which I'm not opposed y'all doing, I think, his voice might be getting stale in our locker room, which is cool. Just know that you have to have your replacement ready for him in that franchise. You know what I'm saying? In the organization.
I'll tell you what's stale. The freaking QB players were stale.
Candace said, is it him or is it the players?
It's both.
It's both. Again, and there's nothing against Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin's a really good coach. But I think that he's been there 20 years already.
Yep. Almost 20 years. Yeah.
I do think that voices tend to get stale in locker room, especially when it comes to some of these professional athletes.
I agree.
So, unfortunately for Mike Tomlin, I think this might be it.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, he ain't had a quarterback. Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, now Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget Kenny Pickett as well. They have not found a quarterback. So that's where I think Omar Khan comes in.
I heard Metcalf might be the biggest issue. I heard that too.
Well,
again, you traded for him. So.
Traded for him. That's where Omar Khan comes in.
Pittsburgh should just let Buffalo do it.
Gotta check over work. But like I'm saying, right quick, you traded for him and you get a contract. So what do you expect?
Go ahead, Bombs. Bombs gonna do the show with me. Yeah, you traded for DK Metcalf. I do think that that's on the front office. You give him a contract. I think that that's playing against them last year. Last week they just didn't seem motivated. offensive line play, defensive line play. Nothing seemed motivated when it came to Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's just that particular week, or I don't know if that's been all year long. Aaron Rodgers didn't look the healthiest. So to put it all on DK Metcalf, I think that's tough to do. But I do think that as the number one receiver, again, going back to that, you getting 20 to 30 million, you have to be able to impact the game, even if you're not catching the passes.
You clearly did that because clearly y'all were done with George Pickens. So there was no. So it didn't surprise me. So you trade for DK Metcalf and you trade George Pickens, and you wonder. A lot of people wonder: is DK Metcalf really a number one wide receiver? Obviously, we know what he did in Seattle, but clearly,
I do want to give a shout out to Will. Will called this. Not last year, not his last year in Seattle, but the year before. He said DK Metcalf not that good.
He's a physical specimen, which was not why a lot of people wanted to draft him. But he fell to the bottom of the second round because some people didn't feel like he didn't have the polish,
have the motor,
and obviously his route tree wasn't that great. And it's easy for him to get a lot of targets at Ole Miss when you're opposite A.J. Brown.
True.
And A.J. Brown went at the top of the second round that year. DK Metcalf slipped all the way to the end of the second round. And a lot of people had DK Metcalf ranked higher over A.J. Brown, which is crazy to think about. But we'll see. I think we'll see what's going to happen Sunday. So let's go to another topic that we do every Fridays when it comes to the football season, and that is our Football Friday 5. The 5 games to talk about this. That's going to be the games to talk about over the weekend. Obviously, we had the Thursday night game last night with the Cowboys, Lions, and the Lions took care of business. So here are the 4 games to look ahead to on Sunday. Start off in the 1 o'clock window. You got an AFC South showdown between the Colts and the Jags. Clearly, the Jags are now, shout out to Tanisha from Main Event Mamas, have clearly shown that they are a legit team in the division. Currently show that they're an elite team in the division. And obviously, the Colts, look, they're not getting a strong running game from Jonathan Taylor, are not the same team.
Yeah. A lot of teams starting to focus on that. They're starting to put 10 in the box. Oh, my Jesus.
Yeah. And that's safe.
Speaking of the box.
Yeah. There's a lot in the box. Oh, boy. Then the game everyone's going to be talking about in the 4 o'clock window is the rivalry of the NFC North foes. And that is the Bears and the Packers. I'm going to ask you, Mark. I heard this question this morning on First Take. Who do you have a more important game? Caleb Williams or Jordan Love?
Is Josh Jacobs healthy?
Sounds like he's going to be.
If Josh Jacobs is healthy, I would say Caleb Williams because I don't think the Bears' running game is going to be as productive against the Green Bay defense. But I'm gonna say Caleb Williams no matter what. I think this might be Caleb Williams coming out party. Is that a primetime game?
That's one. That was a 425.
Yep. As one of the primetime games in the second hour. I think this is gonna be his coming out party against Green Bay.
I think Jordan Love got a ball out. There's no excuse now. Took care of business against the Lions on Thanksgiving. You got to take care of business against these dudes. No excuse now. For someone who's dealt with erratic QB play this year, with my quarterback, everyone has you on this pedestal to be one of the next great QBs. This is a moment because if this young man comes into your city and outplays you, I mean, a lot of questions some people are going to ask down in Lambeau Field about you, Playboy. So, to me, this is a big game for Jordan Love. I do have the Bears. I think I picked the Bears. I don't remember. We'll see on Tuesday. But this could decide who's going to be the NFC North champ. And then Sunday night, which is also the return, ladies and gentlemen, of a show that's often imitated and never duplicated. Sunday Night Lights. That's right. Sunday Night Lights. The Texans versus the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. I know they have Will Anderson right there, the graphic. But CJ Stroud is playing. This game, these two teams have a lot to play for this coming Sunday night. And we'll be here to watch it. So y'all tune in to Sunday Night Lights for Sunday Night Football, Texans versus Chiefs. And then we conclude the week of football, week 14, Monday night here in the city at SoFi with the Eagles and the Chargers. And all signs sound like Justin Herbert's going to try to play. Obviously, they're working on getting the swelling down in that hand he had surgery on, but he has been practicing even on a limited basis. But I think we all expect that the Chargers franchise QB will be out there Monday night for prime time. About these last two games, Mark, and then we'll get to call them names. Must win for who has a lot more in the lines come Sunday night, the Texans or the Chiefs?
Chiefs. Because if Chiefs lose this game, a lot of questions will come in is if the dynasty is over. Yeah, I just don't. It's tough for that. It's gonna be tough for the Texans to go in there and win that game.
And then, in regards to Eagles, Chargers,
Eagles have to win this game.
If they don't, by the way, my guy Saquon Barkley having a down year. Really is not having the year he died last year. My guy J.K. Dobbins, who's out for the season, still has more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley. He hasn't played since he got hurt in that Raiders game.
I think it was 11 quarterbacks that had more passing yards than Jalen Hurts last year, and everybody took on the best quarterback in the league.
You're right. This is a huge game for the Eagles.
I have the Eagles having to win this game.
They have to.
They have to win this game.
All right, y'all. Let's get to the final segment of the night. Segment that's often imitated, it's never duplicated. Some people say stuff in the sports world that need to be called out for, and this is a place where we do it at. So I'll tell you, take my roots. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for calling out names, and I have a few people to call out. And it's Friday. We do it on Tuesday, so I'm going to get to these names. All right. My first is local. Y'all don't know this, but obviously, if you're Candace, Sam, people who listen to 710, ESPN, here locally, Mason and Ireland show, I got called out their producer, Emily Hebel. I love you, Emily. You're always nice to me when I'm at the remotes, but I need to call you out because of this crap. The other night, I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago, USC had an overtime game against Troy.
Yeah.
And next thing, the game went to triple overtime. Producer Emily suggests we should have these games go to triple overtime. If the game goes to a second or third overtime, the game should end in a tie.
Okay. How about now?
I'm up here to help. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I'm big and back.
finish the VIP section with some nachos. No, you don't end a game in a tie. I hate football games in ties. No, get a winner. Ties stink. What happened? Look, what have we been talking about our first night of Sunday Night Lights? The fact that the Cowboys and the Packers tied.
Yep.
What up, Noodle? Stop it, Emily. I love you, but you're wrong. The next person is Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins said something a few weeks ago, and I definitely, here we go. Here it is. And it was about one Shedeur Sanders. This is not. Look. Shedeur played decently these first two games, but boy, when the stand-up is real, it is beyond ignorant. I want to hear what Kendrick Perkins said about Shedeur Sanders before his first game as a starting QB.
Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since 2009. You know what happened in 2009?
Right.
That's when President Obama got elected in office. He's the most powerful black man since 2009. You said you were sitting there watching the game in your house, and what you did? You ran with the TV.
Goddamn right.
Right?
I did.
What was you doing, DB?
I was cheering. I was happy.
You was cheering like a motherfucker. When Shedeur Sanders is on the field, and when I say powerful because there's two sides of it, right? Think about it. Okay, you got the black community. He bringing the whole black community together. I ain't ran across one black person that didn't said one bad thing about Shedeur.
We want him.
And guess what? Not one, because he has the balance. He has the balance of that. I'm arrogant, but I'm humble too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
He have fun with this shit.
And he having fun with the shit. And on top of that, y'all want me to say it ain't. Y'all want me to feel it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, he talking shit. I love that shit.
He's the most powerful black man in sports. No other. Matter of fact, fuck black man. He the most powerful player in sports.
What the fuck are you talking about? What? You're right, Candace. Freaking yapping. What the fuck is that? Most powerful black man in sports? That's my grits. The nerve, dude. Run this quote ever. All right. I'm going to go back to the NFL. Good Morning Football is my favorite show on television. Shout out to Kyle Brandt. You're my guy. But you said something real blasphemy the other day. He said this. He grew up in Chicago, so he grew up a Bulls fan. And he brought up the 94. He brought up the Bulls when Jordan was away those 2 years. And the Rockets. Yeah. And the Rockets went back to back. And basically saying that people don't take those two titles serious because Jordan was now on the court. I think it's different. Because Hakeem Olajuwon was the best player in the league at that time. He said if the Kansas City Chiefs are not in the playoffs, people are going to give your Super Bowl an asterisk. Pretty much, I'm not going to say your Super Bowl run championship is not valid because you didn't get through Mahomes or Mahomes didn't make the playoffs. What are we talking about, KB? And I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically what he was saying. What are we talking about? Help me understand this.
I don't understand that.
And my final call now names is for Trayvon Boykin. Huh? Trayvon Boykin, former NFL quarterback. Oh. You know what? I'm all for people want to get together and be families, and you open up your doors to people.
Yes.
But some of us just need to just stay the freak out. Don't even need to be loud on the front porch. Trayvon Boykin on the podcast talking about how he spent Thanksgiving with Russell Wilson. Then goes out and says it was weird because none of Russell Wilson's family was there. Trayvon Boykin, why do we need to know that? That's not our business. That's not your business. Dude opened up his doors for you. Him and his wife opened up his doors for you for Thanksgiving. And you're going to bring up the fact that his family isn't there. Who cares? That's not your business. If anybody paid attention, the day after Thanksgiving was Russell Wilson's late father's birthday. Sometimes you just gotta shut up. That's my call on there. Mark, you got anybody before we head about you?
No, I don't think I do.
All right. We're going to get up out of here. So Sunday night, check us out for Sunday Night Lights. Broncos, do not BS against the Raiders. Get the W.
Mm-hmm. We got the Bengals.
And your Georgia Bulldogs have the SEC championship. So final words to your Bills and to your Dogs.
Georgia, John, I'm going to tell you this. Usually when we play Alabama, I have this weird, bad feeling in my soul.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that this week. The last time I didn't have that play against Alabama, you know what happened? We won the championship.
Mm.
Now let's go out and get this.
Whoa.
What?
What?
Not me.
JoJo said she has on corner. What we do? I need.
Let me come. They put people call no names.
Yeah, I need to know what. Yeah, I need an explanation before we sign off. I need an explanation for this. All you gotta do is type in the comment, JoJo.
Nope.
All right, you know what? We're gonna take this off here. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. Look, everybody, enjoy the football this weekend. Enjoy the sports. Anything. Be safe. Stay dry. Unless you're between the sheets. My bad. I'm sorry. But enjoy the NFL. Enjoy the college football championship weekend. And we'll react to the college football playoff results on Tuesday.
Shout out to the wet.
We'll definitely talk about the NBA Cup on Tuesday. And give our prediction for who's going to win the Heisman.
Shout out to me because who don't win? I don't win. Huh? What?
And who's going to get the Heisman? Who's going to get the stiff one? So make sure y'all subscribe to Sports4U on YouTube. Like us on X, Instagram, and TikTok, and Facebook. Sports4U Podcast. Look. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you scan this QR code again. You subscribe to Sports4U Podcast.
You get 75% off only John. Cyber Monday.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And furthermore,
some tells me that little promo anytime I put the QR code on.
Man, I haven't talked to nobody about nothing.
Some tells me,
John. It's been times where it's been organized. I haven't talked to nobody about nothing about 75% off Cyber Monday week for the only John.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And furthermore,
by the way, all the smoke was wild. I actually Candace Parker, when did she trade teams?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
All right, we're gonna get up out of here. We'll see y'all Sunday night for Sunday Night Lights.
That's a good question though.
For Texas versus Chiefs. And we'll be back here Tuesday to recap the college football playoff. We'll talk about it a little bit also on Sunday night. So
when did she go from sucking dick to sucking clip?
Well, it's on YouTube. Go find out. It's on the latest episode of All the Smoke, and there is a clip on YouTube. So find out.
She said it when she went from sucking dick to sucking clip.
I think so. I didn't watch the whole clip yet. Yeah. So we'll be up out of here. This has been a great Friday night. Enjoy yourselves. Love life. We'll see y'all Sunday night for some NFL action. I'm John. That's Smart. And these great nacho cheese. Okay? Peace.